will be moments in your life when giving up feels easier than going on. Moments when you're tired, burned out, overlooked. Moments when your dreams seem distant and your strength seems gone. But it is in these exact moments that your destiny is decided. Not by your feelings, not by your surroundings, but by your decision to be unrelenting. To be unrelenting means to possess an unwavering spirit, a mindset that refuses to back down no matter how tough the road becomes. It is the absolute commitment to keep pushing, even when your body is tired, your mind is overwhelmed, and your heart is heavy. The unrelenting don't wait for the perfect moment or a surge of motivation. They move forward regardless. They understand that greatness is not given to the most talented, the most intelligent, or even the most fortunate. It is reserved for those who simply refuse to quit. The ones who keep getting up, the ones who show up when no one's watching, the ones who choose discipline over doubt, effort over excuse, and resilience over rest. Success doesn't belong to those who have the smoothest path. It belongs to those who keep walking the rough one. The difference between a person who makes it and the one who does it often isn't intelligence or opportunity. It's consistency. It's about showing up one more time when everything inside you says, stay down. Life will test your will. People will doubt you. Circumstances will wear you down. But if you are unrelenting, those things won't define you. What will define you is your response, not your conditions, but your courage. Being unrelenting means that failure doesn't stop you. It shapes you. Every no becomes fuel. Every setback becomes instruction. Every bit-back burden is instruction. Every delay becomes preparation. You don't ask the world for permission. You demand your place by earning it over and over again. The unrelenting person is not lucky. They are forged. They are built in silence, in struggle, and in seasons of isolation. While others search for comfort, the unrelenting seek growth. Take the story of Bethany Hamilton, for example, a young surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack at just 13 years old. Most would have walked away. Most would have accepted defeat, but Bethany was unrelenting. Less than a month after the attack, she was back in the water. Not because it was easy, not because it was convenient, but because quitting wasn't in her spirit. She went on to become a professional surfer, winning national titles and inspiring millions. She didn't let fear, trauma, or physical limitation stop her. She chose to rise. She chose to fight. She chose to keep showing up, unrelenting in her pursuit of purpose. That's what it means to be unrelenting. It's not about being fearless. It's about moving forward even when you are afraid. It's not about being strong all the time. It's about standing when you're weak. And it's not about being perfect. It's about never, ever giving up. In the end, it's not who starts the race that matters. It's who refuses to stop running. And it's not who starts the race that matters. It's who refuses to stop running. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. While motivation may spark the fire, it is discipline that keeps it burning long after the initial excitement fades. Relying on motivation alone is a dangerous strategy because motivation is based on how you feel, and feelings are fleeting. Some days you wake up inspired, ready to conquer the world. Other days you feel drained, distracted, or discouraged. If your progress depends on waiting for motivation, you'll never be consistent. And without consistency, success is impossible. Discipline, on the other hand, is the decision to act regardless of your emotional state. It's the commitment to do what must be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the quiet voice that says, get up, when your body says stay down. Discipline doesn't ask, do I feel ready? It says show up anyway. The difference between ordinary and exceptional often comes down to this. Those who rely on motivation work when it feels good. Those who build discipline work no matter what. And over time, that difference compounds, creating results that motivation alone could never deliver. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't get applause. No one claps for the early mornings, the missed parties, the quiet hours spent working in solitude. But that's where the real transformation happens. Every time you show up when it's hard, you're not just checking a box. You're building mental muscle. You're training your mind to take control instead of following emotion. The disciplined person may not always feel motivated, but they always move with purpose. A perfect example of this is Kobe Bryant, known for his incredible talent, yes, but more so for his relentless work ethic. Kobe was not just the first to arrive at the gym and the last to leave. He did it every single day, not just when he felt good. He would train at 4 a.m. before others were even awake, not because he felt like it, but because he had trained himself to be disciplined. He once said, "These are the sacrifices you make when everyone else is sleeping." His success wasn't born from feeling motivated every morning, and it was born from his unshakable commitment to discipline, to do the work, whether he felt like it or not. And that's the difference. Anyone can work hard when they're inspired, but true greatness belongs to those who work through the uninspired days. Discipline gives you power over your emotions, over distractions, over laziness. It teaches you to value progress over perfection, action over excuse. In the end, motivation might help you start, but only discipline will carry you to the finish line. If you want to rise above average, if you want to do what others won't, then you have to live by discipline, not mood, because feelings fade, but results remain. Pain is often seen as something to be avoided, an enemy, a punishment, a sign that something's wrong. But the truth is, pain is one of life's greatest teachers. It reveals who you are when everything is stripped away. When you're uncomfortable, when you're struggling, when you feel broken, that's when the real growth begins. Pain is not there to destroy you. It's there to forge you, to sharpen your focus, to test your hunger. It is the price of progress, the tuition you pay for greatness. Comfort never forces change, but pain demands it. It makes you move, adapt, and rise. The people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who had it easy. When you're in the gym and your muscles burn, that's a signal of growth. When you're studying and your brain aches from information overload, that's expansion. When you're heartbroken, disappointed, or rejected, that's character in the making. Growth doesn't happen in moments of ease. It happens in the struggle. Every time you fight through exhaustion, every time you resist the urge to quit, every time you push through one more rep, one more page, one more day, you're becoming more. You're becoming more. You're becoming more. You're not being broken down, you're being built up. Pain is the proof that you're stretching beyond your limits. The mind may scream for relief, but the soul knows this is where transformation lives. Most people run from discomfort, and as a result, they never evolve. But those who choose to face it, to step into the fire willingly, become something the average can never understand. Refined, powerful, unshakable. When you train your mind to stop fearing pain and start respecting it, you unlock a level of mental toughness that becomes your ultimate weapon. A powerful example of this is David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL, ultra marathon runner, and one of the toughest individuals alive. But he didn't start out that way. He was once overweight, broke, and stuck in a dead-end job. He faced bullying, racism, and abuse growing up, but what changed everything was his decision to stop avoiding pain and start using it. He intentionally put himself in situations most people would run from. He ran hundreds of miles on fractured legs, trained in freezing temperatures, and pushed his body far beyond what doctors said was possible. Why? Because he knew that pain was the path, not something to escape, but something to conquer. His transformation wasn't the result of comfort. It was carved in suffering. Life? In life, pain is inevitable, but growth is optional. You can either let pain crush you or craft you. The most successful people use their pain not as an excuse, but as energy. They let it drive them, shape them, and define them. Pain is not the enemy. Quitting is. And as long as you keep moving through the fire, one step at a time, you are becoming stronger than you ever imagined. Students often underestimate the value of the grind they're in. They see the long nights, the early mornings, the deadlines, the pressure, and wonder if it's all worth it. But the truth is, every page you study, every hour you invest, every distraction you resist is not just for an exam, it's for your future. The grind you endure today is building a foundation for freedom tomorrow. While others waste time waiting for inspiration or motivation, you are preparing yourself for a life most won't have the discipline to achieve. Success in academics isn't about who's the smartest. It's about who's consistent, who's focused, and who's willing to sacrifice comfort for long-term gain. In a world where instant gratification is king, your decision to delay rewards and commit to growth makes you rare. Every time you choose to study while your friends are out, or stay disciplined while others give in to distraction, you are separating yourself quietly, powerfully. You might not see the results overnight, but nothing great happens overnight. Seeds take time to grow. The work you're putting in today, the mental reps, the pressure, the late night effort is shaping the person who will eventually walk into boardrooms, run companies, solve problems, or change lives. The student grind is not just about textbooks and tests. It's about becoming someone who can handle pressure, someone who can learn, someone who can stay committed when it's hard. And the truth is, the world doesn't just need more degrees. It needs people with drive, with grit, with the kind of mindset that doesn't break under stress. That's what you're developing every time you sit down and do the work, even when you don't feel like it. The real reward is not the grade. It's who you're becoming through the process. A great example of this is Angela Duckworth, a former teacher who later became a psychologist and best-selling author. As a student, she wasn't always the smartest in the room, but she was one of the most determined. Through her research, she found that the number one predictor of long-term success wasn't intelligence or talent. It was grit. The ability to persevere over long periods despite failure, fatigue, and frustration. He studied high-achieving students, athletes, cadets, and professionals, and the common factor wasn't genius, it was relentless effort. Students who were willing to push through when it got hard, who studied when it was boring, and who kept going after setbacks ended up achieving the most. So if you're grinding right now, feeling overwhelmed, stretched thin, or even invisible, remember this: you are building something bigger than a report card. You're building self-discipline, focus, and mental endurance. These are not just academic skills, they are life skills. Keep showing up, keep putting in the work. One day, the world will see what you've been building in silence, and it will speak volumes. Your body is not just something you live in. It's your tool for power, clarity, and dominance in every area of life. When you train your body, you're not just building muscle or burning fat. You're strengthening your discipline, sharpening your focus, and building mental armor. Working out isn't just about how you look. It's about how you feel, how you carry yourself, how you show up in the world. A strong body supports a strong mind. When your body is active, your thoughts are clear, your energy is higher, and your ability to overcome challenges multiplies. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. Too many people treat fitness as optional, something to squeeze in if they have time. But for high achievers, it's not optional. It's a core part of the formula. Because training your body teaches you things no classroom or textbook ever will. It teaches you how to deal with pain, how to stay consistent when it hurts, how to push when your mind is screaming for rest. These are not just physical lessons. They are life lessons. Every drop of sweat, every extra rep, every 5 a.m. wake-up call is building something deeper than muscle. It's building your mindset. Fitness is also a mirror. It reflects your standards. If you're disciplined in your training, chances are you're disciplined in other areas too. School, work, relationships. Why? Because physical training rewires how you see effort and results. It teaches you that progress takes time, but it comes if you stay consistent. It shows you that success isn't magical. It's mechanical. Show up, do the work, improve. And it's not about being the fittest in the room. It's about being in control, being stronger than your excuses. Your body responds to how you treat it, with laziness or with respect. Every time you train, you are choosing to respect yourself. And that decision carries over into every part of your life, whether it's academics, business, or relationships. Strength shows up. A great example of this is Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL commander and now a leadership coach. He wakes up at 4:30 a.m. every single day to train, rain or shine, whether he feels like it or not. Why? Not just to be in shape, but to stay mentally sharp, disciplined, and ahead of the day. He believes physical training keeps you humble, focused, and alert. It's his anchor, the thing that sets the tone for everything else. He often says discipline equals freedom, that discipline begins in the gym and then flows into everything else he does. So if you're training today, even if it's hard, even if progress feels slow, know this: you're doing far more than building a body. You're building resilience. You're building control. You're building a version of yourself that doesn't fold under pressure. The gym is just the arena. The battle is for your mindset. And every time you show up, you win. Success is not something that is handed to you. It is something you fight for. It's not gifted. It's earned in the trenches of effort, through struggle, sacrifice, and unshakable focus. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you a breakthrough. If you want success, you must go out and take it. That means showing up when you're exhausted, pushing forward when it's uncomfortable, and believing in your goal when no one else does. Success demands everything: your time, your energy, your patience, your pain, and in return, it gives you something most people will never taste: fulfillment. And in return, it gives you something most people will never taste: fulfillment. The pain is never temporary. 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 But that fulfillment comes at a cost, and only those who are willing to pay it will ever experience the reward. The journey to success is a fight, not a fantasy. It's a daily battle between what's easy and what's necessary. While most people choose comfort, the successful choose the challenge. They understand that results don't come from one big moment. They come from 1,000 small choices. To rise early, to practice longer, to stay focused when the world is full of distractions. They show up when the motivation is gone. They do the work when no one's watching. They sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term impact. That's what separates the winners from the rest. Not talent, not luck, but grit. There will be days when you want to quit. Days when everything feels heavy, when no one claps for your effort, when the progress is invisible and the pressure is real. And it's in those exact moments that success is being formed, because the only way out is through. And it's in those exact moments that success is being formed, because the only way out is through. Those who fight in silence, who endure the boring grind, who keep going through the mental noise, those are the ones who build something unshakable. Consider the story of Elon Musk. Long before Tesla, SpaceX, and global recognition, he was sleeping on the floor of his office, working 100-hour weeks, pouring everything he had into companies that people said would fail. He sold PayPal, and instead of retiring comfortably, he invested nearly every dollar into building rockets and electric cars, ventures people laughed at. He was ridiculed, doubted, and constantly under pressure. But he kept fighting. He kept building. And now the same people who called him crazy call him a genius. His success wasn't handed to him. He fought for it with vision, obsession, and a relentless work ethic. It wasn't just smart, he was unshakably committed. That's the mindset you need. You can't wait for perfect conditions. You can't wait for people to believe in you. You have to move forward anyway. Fight for your dream like no one else will, because most people won't. Success is earned in the dark before it's celebrated in the light. And if you're willing to fight longer, harder, and with more heart than anyone else, the world will have no choice but to respect the results you create. You don't lose when you fail, you lose when you quit. Failure is a part of the journey, but quitting is the end of it. Every dream worth chasing will push you to your limits. You will stumble. You will doubt yourself. You will face days when nothing seems to go right. But as long as you keep moving forward, no matter how slow, you're still in the game. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the quiet act of showing up again when you feel like giving up. Success doesn't demand perfection. It demands endurance. The people who win are not the ones who never struggled. They are the ones who refuse to stop. When you quit, you guarantee that nothing will change. But if you keep going, even through the smallest steps, you give yourself a chance. And sometimes that chance is all you need. The biggest breakthroughs often come right after the point where most people give up. It's easy to keep going when everything is working. But the true test is what you do when nothing is working. That's when your character is revealed. That's where your breakthrough is waiting. Every great success story has a chapter that looks like failure, a season of darkness before the dawn. But those who kept walking through the storm eventually saw the sun again. Persistence beats resistance. Consistency beats intensity. It's not about how hard you hit once. It's about how many times you can get hit and still get back up. When you're tempted to quit, remind yourself why you started. Think about how far you come, not just how far you have to go. Every struggle you've already faced, you survived. That strength is still in you. You didn't come this far just to come this far. You came this far to finish. Hey, 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 hey. You might be tired, but you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. A perfect example of this is the story of Thomas Edison. He's remembered as the inventor of the light bulb. But what most people forget is that he failed over 1,000 times before finally succeeding. When asked how it felt to fail so many times, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He could have quit at any point. No one would have blamed him. But he chose to keep going, and because he did, he changed the world. His success wasn't the result of one brilliant idea. It was the result of relentless perseverance. He simply refused to stop. That's what it means to be unrelenting. You don't need to move fast. You don't need to be the best. You just need to keep going. Because the moment you quit is the moment you cancel your own potential. Keep walking, even if you're crawling. Keep believing, even if you're afraid. You are closer than you think, but you'll never know if you stop now. You were not born average. You were born to rise. But no one rises by chance. They rise by choice. So choose to be unrelenting. Choose to fight, to build, to bleed if you must, because nothing worth having will ever be handed to you. And when the world sees what you've become, don't hand it off to your family and people that you work with, because it's nothing worth having will ever be handed to you. And when the world sees what you've become, they'll understand why you refuse to give up.